When you commit to travel, wherever the dart lands on the world map, things don't always turn out comfortable or pretty. Ecuador's Amazon jungle revealed a side of the world that most tourists will never see, and many wouldn't even want to. From remote tribes deep in the forest to ancient ceremonies involving mysterious drinks and ancestral rituals, this Travel by Dart episode delivers goosebumps, suspense, and raw warrior tales from indigenous people who still live as they have for centuries.
A long time ago, they used to make shrunken heads. Well, they used to keep their enemies' heads as a trophy of war.
Join me as I discover a magical world in this third and last part of Ecuador's trip determined by a dart. My name is Soren. I throw darts at the world map and travel wherever they land. When I threw the dart in Costa Rica and hit Ecuador, I didn't know that this beautiful country will actually give me 3 episodes, not just one, because Ecuador is the land of 4 worlds. Galapagos Islands, the coastal part, so that's the number 2, the mainland, that's number 3, and the Amazon jungle, that's number 4. After spending a few days in Baños and Quito, I decided to go with my friend Pedro to the Amazon jungle because I've heard some crazy, incredible stories about that land.
One of the most spectacular things that you can see here in Ecuador is that some of the Amazonian tribes, they decapitate and shrink the head as a symbol of victory when there were battles between them over territory or other disputes.
To get more official information about that, we first stopped at Indian Museum, where we got unprecedented access to some real goosebumpy proof.
They used to keep their enemies' heads as a trophy of war. So here you can see step by step how they used to make this. Well, first they kill the enemies, then they cut off the head, the chopping of the head, and they start removing everything. So they remove the skull, the brain, the teeth, the eyes, everything was out. But they left just the skin and the hair. Then that skin was boiled. They boil it in some different plants or some different herbs. Oh, they were steaming, okay? They were sewing up the mouth. They were closing the mouth because they thought that probably the soul is going to escape and is going to be taking revenge. Next step, and they used to fill with hot stones to burn the last fat, to dry the skin, and to shrink the skin, okay? At the end of the process, the guy who was making this, usually he was wearing the head as a necklace, or he put at the end of the spear to show everyone that he was the winner, that he was having his enemy's head as a trophy of war, all right? Nowadays, they are not doing this anymore. They stopped in the year 1930.
Just so that everyone knows, they do not show this to anyone to take pictures of, and we're very lucky and privileged to be shown this. This is a real head. Oh my god.
Okay, look at the eyelashes, the eyebrow, the nose hair, the wrinkles. Yes? Look at the crown. It's made of macaw feathers and toucan's feathers. Look at the ears.
It's crazy how the hair stayed like that.
Yes. That is something that we don't know how they used to make these. We know, just a little bit about this. Nobody was looking, whole the process.
So how old would this be?
This one is 170, and he was a guy of 65 years. We believe that he was a foreigner, because if you'll see the eyelashes, the eyebrow, even his hair, he has a different color.
Mm-hmm. So this is real?
Yes, it is. Can you show me your fist? Can you make a fist next to this one? The people, they say that probably the size of your fist, it could be the size of your head if they were doing this on you. But don't worry, they are not doing this anymore. They are very nice people and you can visit them.
Probably this guy, being a foreigner, was a nice person too, but then...
Yes, but then probably he was, doing something.
With the promise of being nice to the tribes, we made our way to the Amazon jungle. Little did we know what was about to happen.
Ecuador as a country started as a republic in 1830. But before that, there were many human groups that inhabited this territory. Okay, so that's why we call them nationalities, because everybody's Ecuadorian, but because they were here before the Constitution, we have 14 nationalities that they have their own language, their own social, and their own jurisdiction law.
To understand how old these communities are, think that the Incas came here in the 1400s, and these communities or nationalities, as the locals call them, they were here already.
We have 9 nationalities in the Amazon, and these nationalities are the least contacted with other human groups, like the Spanish or the Incas. So they preserve the best DNA.
We drove from Baños for about 3-4 hours down deep into here. So we arrived in a village called Misahualli. Misahualli is a village full of indigenous communities. What we're staying at is a place called Ama Lodge. Very cool, very rustic. I love it. Wow, this looks better than I expected. And our host is Giovanni. Giovanni, who's also part of the indigenous community here. And we arrived at night. He was waiting for us with a dinner and a bunch of stories. One of the things they do here every now and then is the ayahuasca ritual, which is a spiritual and physical cleaning.
The ayahuasca has become quite controversial because there are a lot of people who search only the effects of the ayahuasca, only the hallucinogenic effects.
La soga, la liana, el ayahuasca es una anaconda. Eso va a subir por tu cuerpo primerito. Cuando tú subes, tienes que ganarle a eso. Ganaste eso, vas a disfrutar, vas a llegar. Pero si tú te asustas, se te va a cortar todo tu concentrado.
I want to sign up for this. I want to do the ayahuasca tribal ceremony because I want to go through it. I'm here and I want to be part of this. I'm immersing myself in every community I'm visiting and it's time to do it again.
Pero siempre tiene que haber el yachakruna. Ustedes no pueden tomar solos, legado. Tiene que el yachakruna es la persona que él te va a ver a ti.
He was explaining it in a nonchalant way that, it just happens like this. And he said, you will actually feel the snake.
Si tú, la bebida, tomaste y no botaste, tu salud está bien. Cuando botaste, tu salud no está bien. Eso significa que tienes que hacer un chequeo médico.
After we got this introduction, very powerful, I gotta say, Giovanni told us that next morning we will go on the river here in the Amazon jungle to discover the nature and get to start our Amazon experience by saying hello to Pachamama, to the Mother Earth. Giovanni also had a helper called Jose, and he stayed with us the whole time, helped us with everything we needed, including the boat ride.
Aquí nosotros lo llamamos a este pez gigante, que es uno de los peces que existe dentro de la Amazonía, que puede vivir, y ahora aquí la familia, el Pedro, tiene como exhibición y tenemos aquí. Y normalmente este pez cuando está bien adulto es de 3 a 4 metros puede crecer.
Wow.
Ahorita tenemos este pez más o menos unos 2 metros ya.
¿Qué es el más peligroso animal de esta época?
Las serpientes, las venenosas, hay 3 tipos de serpientes venenosas, que es la hoja seca, que es ahí, que es muy venenosa.
Mortal.
Muy venenosa, sí. De ahí viene la X. En la X hay diferentes colores, más especialmente. Unos de borde de agua, otros en la parte alta y el otro de una parte muy cerrada. Pero las formas son muy parecidas. En la cabeza es cabeza triángulo y es muy aplastado. Y sí, y la otra es la culebra nocturna, que nosotros le llamamos motolo, en quichua, motolo, en inglés bushmaster. Y eso solamente está Vive debajo de estas cecropias, sus raíces son zancudas y le gusta estar ahí. Y esta culebra cuando te pica, en la noche es nocturna y si estás descuidado te bota al suelo. La culebra es muy grande, el grosor es así, hasta 1,50 m de largo. El impacto te bota al suelo y el rato que te pica te pudre la carne, es pudridora.
We've enjoyed this incredible ride and got ready for the first of the 3 major highlights I've experienced in this magnificent part of the world, meeting the most remote tribe in the Amazon jungle. We're going to the Waorani tribe, and you're gonna see something totally different than what you're used to. This is not something that any tourist does here, so I was, again, very lucky that people that I've met here have the insides of this tribe. I think we're here already.
Hello.
Hola. The Waorani tribe lives about 4 hours away from here. We finally get there. We found 6 women and 1 guy. They're all naked. The ladies put some sort of covers on, but usually they say they're naked all the time. As soon as I get there, they do this song, like a welcoming ceremony as well. And they start singing. They put me in a line. I was in an awkward position. They put me in a line. One of them holds my arm, and they keep singing the same song over and over again. And I ask them, what does this song mean, right? And one of the girls explained what it is.
Esa canción está dedicando que vienen ustedes bienvenidos como hermanos. Estamos recibiendo como hermanos de lejos, que ellos antiguos han perdido a sus hermanos en guerras y ahora estamos como hermanos unidos.
So I'm looking at this guy. His name is Bave, and a cool Waorani guy. He's welcoming us to his tribe of women. I mean, I have to make sure to tell you this, but the ladies were not his women, all of them. They're part of different families in that tribe. They just came to meet me.
¿Tienes esposa?
Ahora sí.
Una esposa.
Sí.
Una esposa. No dos.
Ya está. Lleva otro.
Ah,
Sin papá, 5 mujeres.
5 mujeres.
Sí. Ese va a cocinar, ese ropa lavar, ese va a trabajar chakra, ese va a llevar cacería, ese va a cocinar. Complete.
These guys live in the nature. They actually climb trees to pick up fruits and hunt, just like a monkey. They live like this since they were born. To them, they become animals themselves. As soon as they finished with their song, they said, well, we have the traditional wedding ceremony now. And I said, who's getting married? He said, you are. So I'm like, what? What happened to the brother? So we're gonna do a traditional wedding ceremony for you. They told me I'm about to get married to one of those 6 ladies. And did I get to pick? No, sir. They'll pick one and we'll do like a traditional Waorani ceremony, a wedding ceremony. Let's do this. And the winner was the beautiful Mare. She seems too excited about it.
ya, espera.
For those of you wondering why I wasn't married up until this age, now you get to see the real event happening in real life. So here is my wife for today. And then the wedding ceremony starts. They start singing a different song now. They actually get around me. I have Bave's right around my face here, and he's grabbing me, and I'm afraid to look left. I'm looking right at my wife. She doesn't move her face at all. All these ladies in the back, they're laughing their ass off. They're having fun. They're all grabbing my shoulder, my neck. I'm like, why does everyone's grabbing my neck? I was wondering. So after the ceremony, I asked them, why did you all grab my neck? And they're like, oh, yeah, you're going to have to carry a lot of burden for this. So
So right now I have to go to our room and start this marriage the right way. Today I've been spending a lot of time with the Waorani tribe, and as a sign of respect for them and for all they did for me today, I'm gonna throw another dart at the world map blindfolded. But not this dart. They taught me how to do the Blowdart. This is how they actually hunt animals, get fruits down off the trees. So I'm gonna use a different kind of dart today, like the Blowdart. So I'm so pumped about it. The rules, again, if I hit the ocean, I'm gonna go to the closest landmass, and that is pretty much it. I am open for anything. Let's do it. Whoa! This is Greece. Oh my God. Look, it's close to Athens. Ellada is Greece. This is it. This is the country I'm going to next. Wow, Greece. What an incredible place. So much history in it, and it's hard to believe that it's not a big country, but it's not small either. So it's pretty good. I'm excited. I don't speak any Greek. I know a lot of things about Greece. I have friends in Greece, so I guess it could have not been any better. I'm excited to go there and show you guys what Greece is all about, besides what you know, of course. Let's go to Greece. One of the best surprises I've had here was to be invited to Sinchi Warmi, which is another small community in the Quechua world. It's a community of women.
Sinchi Warmi en nuestro idioma y traducido a español es mujeres valientes. Sinchi Warmi es un sitio en la cual la gente viene a descansar, a dejar toda esa energía negativa, donde salen de aquí nuevos.
The first thing we did was to do a medicinal cleansing ceremony, a steaming bath into a small tent in which they put a huge bowl of boiling water with all the medicinal plants that they could put on.
Entramos al vientre de la madre naturaleza, que es nuestra Pachamama en nuestra cultura, en la cual es volver al vientre para luego volver a nacer.
Melissa said before we start this steaming bath, you guys have to take a shot of garlic that we'll put into your nose. A mixture of plants, but mostly garlic.
Tiene como 6 tipos de planta, que esto ayuda para los resfriados, dolor de cabeza, pero en la cual también hemos agregado una planta que nos ha ayudado muchísimo para el COVID.
After spending 35 minutes with Pedro in a tent, half naked, we were released, and I felt so good. I felt like a newborn. Melissa said, "Are you ready for the shower?" I said, "Yes, but you're not going to take a shower. We're going to take you on this little boat in the middle of the lake, and you're just going to jump in, and you're going to have to swim with the big fish, with the Paiche." Right when I thought we're done, she said, no, well, you have to do the mud ceremony now. So we put our mud on. Has a lot of attributes that helps your health.
This is for Pachamama.
We jumped in the lake one more time to clean that mud out of us, and then we ended that ritual with a lot of chocolate.
So this cocoa that we're putting on our body goes for a lot of money in Belgium or any other countries that import from here and then they sell it for a fortune. Us, we're just massaging ourselves in chocolate. The best and the finest cocoa in the world. Right on our... I'm gonna stop right there. That event ended with them saying, you guys have to stay here because we have something prepared for you. A cultural evening. What was the cultural evening? Something that I did not expect. I had one of the best surprises I've ever had during filming Travel by Dark.
Una limpieza, una purificación y con hojas que especialmente es para esto, hojas de fiebre.
And with that, I got to the climax of my trip, the controversial ayahuasca ritual for which I had to find a shaman, or a yachacruna as they call it here. I did, and what a find.
Sorín no sabe nada que está metiendo.
His name is Santiago, and he asked me to go with him pick up the ayahuasca and show me how it's done.
The way it's carried out is after they harvest the roots, they concentrate. They put about 5 liters of water and they put all these different roots that had been previously peeled, and they boil, and they have to check this boiling process for over hours until you have a reduction to a 25%, almost half a liter of water of this concentrated root juice, which you eventually are going to drink.
Cuando toma ayahuasca no tiene que mover, no hablar, porque es sagrado ayahuasca.
It's pitch dark and the place looks nothing like before. Torches everywhere, Santiago is all painted. He said you have to let go of every emotion you have right now and just be one with us, with the nature.
Es suyo. Tomar, sí.
When you start drinking and feeling the effects, there's an anaconda, sacred in the Amazon, that starts wrapping your body. And a lot of people freaked out, and some even have fainted. If you resist that, man, people can hallucinate, and even some claim that they have seen some animals crawling up their body and they won't just want to rip their clothes off.
So it's a state in which the people feel that their body is healing and it's getting rid of all that bad energy.
As for me, I spent 2 hours with Santiago seeing all kinds of things. It was interesting how he was talking to the spirits too, trying to scare them away. He also took me outside the shack in the jungle, while I could barely walk. Truth being told, I felt it. Luckily, I didn't show it too much for the whole 2 hours until the end. It was the last night in the Amazon jungle, a night that I will never forget. Ecuador, with its 3 stops, the Galapagos Islands, the mainland, and the Amazon jungle, was incredible. Since I chose a new destination in both the Galapagos and the jungle, in the next episodes you'll see my adventures in Greece and Madagascar. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and thank you for watching.